Dominique Strauss-Kahn, and to his right,
95, 94, 95, thank you. The need for recapitalization, as I told you, the IMF has insisted a lot for months on this, is now, I think, well understood on both sides of the Atlantic. Cooperation is less evident, but for interest rate. So I urge European countries to work together. There's no domestic solution to a crisis like this one. I know, having myself served as the finance minister of my country, how difficult it is in the European Union to make consensus and to make decisions. I don't underestimate the problems. Nevertheless, cooperation and coordination in actions is the price of success. All kinds of cooperation have to be commended. All lonely act has to be avoided, if not condemned. And that's IMF message for this morning, number one. In our view, at this time. And that's why opposite to the... As you know, our view is that growth will be close to zero next year in advanced economies and about 3% in the global economy. So we are on the cusp of a global recession. To be drawn, and we're ready to do that. So I told you at the beginning, and I will end that the severe downturn in the world economy is obvious for everybody, I think. But I want to say is that even if we see a year 2009 around zero for advanced economy and 3%, as I just say, for the global economy, we see the beginning of the recovery in the second part of 2009. So it's a message of hope. And that's probably the message number two of the IMF today, that the crisis is serious, the crisis is protracted, but nevertheless, we see that the end of 2009 will be the beginning of the recovery. Slow recovery, it will not go fast, but growth will come back, in our view, at this time.
In July at the G8 summit, I said that developing countries were facing a double jeopardy from the impact of high food and fuel prices. But what was then a double jeopardy is now a triple hit: food, fuel, and finance, threatening not just to knock the poorest people down, but to hold them down. The events of September could be a tipping point for many developing countries. A drop in exports will trigger a fall-off in investments. Deteriorating financial conditions combined with monetary tightening will trigger business failures and possibly banking emergencies.
And my question is, you have mentioned...
Over recent weeks, attention is focused on the size of financial packages and on the impact on Main Street. There are Main Streets all over the world. We must look beyond the financial rescue to the human rescue.
We talked about a variety of subjects. I assured him that the United States will take strong action in dealing with the current economic situation. And I also talked about our common desire to work with our European friends to develop as best as possible common policy in dealing with the current economic situation.